Alright, just want to make sure we are live. Just takes a little bit longer than I was expecting. Alright, folks, we got quite a bit to talk about. We do have this tropical cyclone here, this tropical storm Yagi here, as it is at 35 knots, about 40 miles an hour. Air pressure is down to 996 millibars. Here's the latest forecast track from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. It is expected to continue to intensify as it just goes off to the near the Philippines. It's going to make that turn off to the north and to the west, towards west. At around the 3rd at 06C, it'd be about 50 miles an hour. As it moves westward, just south in the South China Sea, it will undergo rapid intensification, going from 45 knots, 55 knots, jumping to 80 knots, 100 knots, and even 110 knots, possibly 115 knots, which is about 130 miles an hour. It does appear that it will miss Hong Kong and go into the southern portions of China, southern to southwest portions of China, and will do some impacts there. Could be very, very powerful upon landfall. So that is something that we're going to quickly we'll be monitoring and watching as the storm continues to intensify. Alright, currently, as of right now, it continues to be relatively not super strong, not a wind threat, but definitely going to be looking at the very, very heavy rain over portions of the Philippines for sure, especially that northern island there where Manila is at. We'll be seeing that heavy rain occurring. There'll be lots of flash flooding, landslides, and mudslides are also possible as well with this storm. Okay. Look a little bit at the models and talk a little bit about what we could see with this storm as it continues and when we could see this really begin to intensify. Here's the H-Worth model. Going to time here. As you can see, it really needs to get away from the land before into the South China Sea before it gets to intensify, and that's really where we begin to see once it gets to the South China Sea. So I believe this will happen between 48 and 60 hours from now when the storm is going to begin to intensify. And once it does, it will quickly do that. So it does look like it will peak at 931 millibars and begin to weaken as it makes its way closer to China. This one particular model just shows it. But the more that we've been looking at with this storm, the more of a western turn it's been getting. So I do think that more of a southerly turn off towards the south like this, or even it may even, as you can see, it was continuing to push farther. But we saw a really sharp drop off to the west today. So that's why they had that farther off to the west. However, I do continue to think we may continue to see that, and we may see this taking more of a southerly trend, and so an impacts towards Taiwan are not becoming as likely. It's no longer even in the cone certainty. Ocean analysis, taking a look at the ocean temperatures there in the West Pacific there. You can see it's in a very area of warm, but really as it approaches right there near China, the coast of China, the temperatures will begin getting to get a little bit cooler, which may lead to a weakening, no longer intensifying. So that's my reasoning why we will see that. Take a look at the West Pacific, upper level winds. Look at shear. So this shows you shear. So the higher the number, the stronger the shear is. Relatively right here, the storm is currently situated right here. There's a little bit of shear. This is its outflow right here, so that's why they show shear right where it's at. That's its outflow boundary, so that allows the storm to breathe better and to intensify and to become stronger. So that's its outflow, so that's why they were showing shear there. So again, they're showing this becoming relatively strong, 939, 940 millibars as it makes landfall. And then we do have multiple other systems right behind it that we're also going to have to watch as well, as we could possibly see some impacts. Direct possible, but indirect or more likely indirect impacts there to Japan, ocean swells, rip currents, tides, and the higher tides as well will cause it to be worse too. Just gonna go to force 13. Alright, so there it is right here. Here is the satellite imagery of it. I can pull it up. So you can definitely see here the Philippines. Here is Taiwan, China, the reef down here. Deep convection all across the Philippines right now, just causing a lot of heavy rain, a lot of flooding and mudslides and landslides in that area of Japan. Taiwan, the Philippines. I can't speak. I also want to go to the Philippine Meteorological Agency and see what they're saying. I don't know if I have it. I don't. Philippines. The Philippines Meteorological Department. We're going to go there and talk a little bit about what we got going on. Alright, so there's that storm, folks. So you will probably notice that it says Enteng, which is different from what we're seeing here, Yagi. This is the official name. This is the unofficial name named by the Philippine Meteorological Agency. So again, here it is. It's actually a pretty good satellite imagery right here. Not bad. Where is it at? I mean, I see it's right here, but it is supposed to become storm and then eventually as well as a typhoon. Up here we got tropical storm signal number 2. Higher the signal, I think 4 is the highest. So these are already pretty high up there. So you got signal number 2 down here. To talk a little bit about all the signals that we got. These are kind of like the warnings. There's Taiwan. Oh, the Philippines are down here. That's Taiwan. Winds up to anywhere from 62 to 88 kilometers an hour. May be expected within the next 24 hours. It will slightly intensify as it decelerates over the coastal waters of the wind zones norte. So its center will move in the eye was currently estimated on available data for coastal waters. 14.7 north, 123, I think that's west. Maximum wind of 75 kilometers an hour near the center. So right now it's relatively weak, but the biggest threat I really want to put out there, it's going to be that it's going to have flooding. Okay, flooding is going to be the biggest threat with this system. Do they have the... Zoom in. It's actually not bad. It's pretty high resolution radar for the Philippines. Put this into motion. It seems a little bit. Okay, so this is currently where it's located. It's going to make its way up to the north, but it's going to have to be quite a sharp turn for sure. And it is expected to become a typhoon as well, and a relatively strong typhoon at that, at 20 degrees north, 113 degrees. Alright, so this is the latest radar that we have. So you can clearly see it's got a center, possibly core trying to develop as the storm continues to intensify, which I think is not just only possible but also likely with this storm, as it has shown it has overperformed recently, intensifying much quicker and as well as moving farther to the west than we were expecting, which is good for Taiwan, bad for push to southern China. I guess I'll go to force 13. about what we got there. If I even have to save the word here. Who knows? Force 13 has some pretty good satellite imagery. So it must be daytime there. Either that or I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sure enough, there it is. It is now officially daytime there in Taiwan and Japan. It's the Philippines. Right there. Oop. And we'll be continuing to give coverage of the storm over the next several days, as I will not be at work, thankfully. Over the next several days, I will not be at work. However, I will be able to continue to give you all the latest coverage of the storm. Again, you're still at 35 knots, about 40 miles an hour at 9 at 96 millibars. Alright, so here's latest satellite imagery as well. Just wanted to go over a little bit about what we were talking about in case anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns. I will be able to answer, hopefully. Oh yeah, I should probably go to the joint technical next. This text. Yeah, this is just kind of tells you the forecast track with it. I'm going to go to force13.com. And that is not the Force 13 I am looking for at all. See what we got here. So here's satellite imagery, some water, radar coverage. Apparently, clearly won't have any. I don't know why. This is wind shear. Analysis, joint day from running center track. This still shows you wind shear. So the current location where it's at, it's actually far over here. Where it's at is very, very little wind shear. It's out in the blues, literally like 0 to 5 knots. So currently, there's very, very low wind shear with this storm, which is in fact very good. Here is the latest. You can even see more than negative 90 degrees Celsius, negative 80, negative 90 degrees Celsius cloud tops, which shows that the storm has very cold cloud tops, which basically tells us that the storm is intensifying and rapidly organizing. Here's a precipitable water. Amount of water that we could see. Upwards of 40 millimeters. 25 to 30 millimeters is possible. There's a lot of heavy rain with this storm, and we expect there to continue to have very heavy rainfall as the storm continues to track closer over the Philippines. Here is the latest radar imagery. It's actually a lot farther north than I thought. What the heck? Hold on. True color. Yeah. Kind of at that point where it looks like it's all the way up here now, but if I look at this doesn't seem right. Something's off about this. And that's right there. Yeah, that's right. I was just confused. I thought it was farther off to the south. But yeah, it's already making land. We're going to be making landfall tonight and off to the northernmost island of the Philippines. Okay. There's the latest satellite imagery of the storm. And here it is here. This is the latest satellite imagery once again. And I'm probably going to end it off there. Just wanted to keep it quick, simple, to understand what's going on regarding the storm. We'll continue to do updates all day tomorrow. And again, this is a very serious event, and we'll continue to give updates throughout the rest of the day tomorrow. As always, stay safe out there, take care, and peace out.